And good morning, guys. How are you? Yeah, back for a new cast. I will even say a new double cast because, yes, we're going for a trip of two casts today. But so hard, guys. So hard to find some potentially cool replays. I'm starving. I'm totally starving. Top players don't play anymore. It's like I don't know. They have to wake up, stop going to the beach, stop. They think it's summer or something. So yeah, that's a little too quiet at the moment. So hopefully we still have few players uh, playing around, but we feel like yeah, it's not the high season of Subcom because yeah, I can understand when you have the sea, the holidays on the computer most of the time. There's one choice better than another. But let's go directly on the first replay, and I think it will be a very interesting replay because it's talking about Navy, and if I remember well, I still didn't cast a single Navy game. So it could be interesting. It's some Cybran versus Cybran. It's our dear, super dear Voodoo, SFO Voodoo Master, Voodoo, against Dilly Dally, a British player who's renamed as Softly. So um, this player played during maybe the last year on Steam. So if he has some weird playstyle, it will be probably explained this way. If it's not explained this way, it will be explained by the fact that he's British. Just kidding. And Voodoo, of course, our dear Voodoo, who is crossing, I would say, kind of. He's still, of course, a badass, but he used to be top 3 player. At the moment, I think he's ranked rank 6 or rank 7. We can see also the rating. He used to be around 2130 rating. It's the 1v1 rating that you see here. Now he lost a little more than 100. So every player sometimes has 1-2 months of a little less success on the ranked, but I'm sure that Voodoo will come back on the top more than very soon. You can see his build order, second air, and only building one mech with the ICU because you have some reclaim very close to the start point. Also, so he's not, because of that, he could not use the attack order from the factory. I don't know if I can show it. No, of course I can't. It's a replay. But some players use the attack order to use the increased range, reclaim range of the engines. So with that, for example, the NG could reclaim from more or less about this position. But anyway, you can see the build order is totally working. Perfect eco balance for the moment. One very important thing about Whitefire, so you probably know you have those two huge racks, and you can see Voodoo is not wasting this mass. You can reclaim more or less all you want, but if you waste some mass, it's unforgivable. It's kind of the hugest mistake you can take. It's like if you were making a gift of mass to your opponent. That by wasting here some mass so early in the game, it's huge. It's like, yeah, you really create a disadvantage yourself without that the opponent does anything. So really be careful to stop the NG while he's reclaiming before the storage is full. So scout, and then full interceptor, no transport, but some players want, some other does not. But it's okay. It's not a must-do transport on Whitefire. So good interception from Dilly Dally, getting the scout, and then we saw that he had Interceptor and Scout, so a little bit earlier than Voodoo, but probably because he went earlier, which means, okay, let's see the reaction time. I think Voodoo is excellent at air micro. For the moment the echo is good. You can see 2 factories at 3 minutes 28, it's very fast. And do we have some started tech to max? Not yet, that's why we have so early tech to max. So incredible, and sometimes it works, but here it's hardly understandable. But Voodoo style means no hydro, or except when it's a real need. And seriously, those 2 hydros on Whitefire have such a big importance that you I don't know if you really can afford like he does to totally neglect those hydro. But it's his style, he always worked like that. Bomber here, let's see. It's alive, it's a Cybrand bomber, but no reaction from Voodoo. Yeah, that's kind of a mistake that we... Oh, but... Okay, so... Yeah, the bomber found more interesting to kill. Very big shout. 3 kills, that's huge. And yeah, Voodoo was probably a little more zoomed. And oh, he killed the interceptor in the air. That's insane! That was a lucky strike, as it killed 3 NGs, 1 interceptor, and with the same drop, 2 other NGs, because it's some little bullets that are splitten. So few bullets killed the interceptor, the other dropped on the floor, killed 2 other NGs. So lucky but very successful bomber. Dangerous from Voodoo is that he's not protecting, or at least not really early, this this rack. So imagine that softly Dilly had sent an NG first here, maybe he could have managed to get some. So we saw earlier Voodoo had a plane in this area to check that, but still, even if it was checked during a long time, he had nothing to kill the NGs if he was spotting an NG. So we can see the strategy only now upgrading the first mechs, and only 1 mech, so it's very slowly eco-oriented. It's definitely a Tech 1 spam. And why spamming Tech 1 Navy on this map? Ooh, spotted on time. Yeah, that's factory. The best move when you see that is to directly move the ACU to the location. However, it looks to be in the range of a frigate, so huge mistake from Dilly Dally, that if you invest like that a factory, which is very expensive at this stage of the game, you have to put it just a little here and it will be safe against frigates. Dilly Dally won the NG reclaim fight, he was slightly earlier, and good choice, some labs. And is it? I think it's still the same NG that built the factory, and now we'll see that the factory is still reclaimable. I don't think it can be the ACU. Oh, definitely air supremacy for the... It is not the ACU. Yeah. So big investment from Dilly Dally with this factory, but as he grabs those mexes and he will kill few of the enemy mexes, I think it's worth it. It's worth it. Hey, look, those mexes will totally pay the price of this factory plus the units. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how Dilly Dally will Voodoo defend against that. He will have to produce some mantis. He's doing it with this reclaim that was it was supposed to be a reclaim factory earlier, but finally it will be used for defense. What's the main point with this assault from Dilly Dally is that Voodoo made a navy rush. So what's the point when you do a navy rush? And that's very important. It could change the whole game. Is that it's not all in, as we saw he was upgrading few tech 2 mexes, but you want to be the earlier, the as early as possible in the enemy base with your first frigate, with your first subs. Because Voodoo had to defend, this timing attack is delayed by maybe 2 minutes, and that's huge. So, however, what is Voodoo thinking at the moment, even without information? But that's false. He has some information. He knows that Voodoo, Dilly went heavily on air. He has air. He's hurting it with it. He went on air and on an assault, a land assault. So what does it mean? Plus probably some echo. It means that for sure he has less navy than Voodoo, and that's what Voodoo knows, and that's why he will at this timing engage with his Tech 1 force. We saw there were some NGs killed here. You see the power of the frigate denying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mexes. You think that frigate has small range, but believe me, 5 mexes, that's so huge on just in this area. And he will probably be able to kill this one and this one, still with only some Tech 1. So actually, Tech 2 can be delayed, but actually it's not even delayed. It's already ready, because Voodoo is getting a quite low energy build. As you can see, okay, Tech 2 sub, did it died? No, it's just a stealth unit. Okay, but yeah, this Tech 2 sub is way superior to the Aiguillon, that's the French name for the unit. Let's see the defense of Dilly Dally. Totally with torps, no frigate. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Worst timing ever for Dilly Dally, as he's just Tech 2 and he's upgrading 3 slave factories at the moment. And Voodoo saw it. Right? It's a huge investment and it can easily be killed because it has few HPs. 7.5. Yeah, that's a lot of HPs, but that's the factories. Navy factories has more HPs than the other factories. That's why. Okay, so you can see total control of the Navy from Voodoo. However, we have more information. He didn't went too heavily on economy because still some Tech 1 mixes. But yes, that was definitely a mistake from Dilly Dally. And you can see he killed first the subs, so Voodoo can't kill those subs anymore. But imagine the time to kill 12 frigates, which means I will again make a false calculus, but 2000 HPs per frigate. It means about 20,000 HPs to kill only with 2 Barracudas. Good luck. Especially when you know that the first destroyer should be around. It's here, and when it will be here, with this navy control, it will totally deny the front island. Okay, so Voodoo decided to save a minimum of his frigates because it will be used later. Look how good is this frigate against air. It kills the bomber very fast. Also, of course, excellent radar control, radar coverage, thanks to those frigates. So it's a very polyvalent unit, and it's one of Zlo's favorite units, the Tech 1 frigate, because radar, because of anti-air, and because of this HP per mass ratio. So for a very cheap unit you have a lot of HPs. So basically for a cheap army you have a very tanky army that will be hard to destroy. On the meantime, you can see Voodoo, he went transport to drop those units. That's a good choice, but the earlier he will do it, the better it will be. At this moment, what can he expect? First, he should cut some Tech 1 units because some Tech 1 factories, because it's still very expensive, and Tech 1 Navy did the job. But what will be helpful in the next following 10 minutes, an eco lead, but I think Voodoo has it already. That's the first point. And then Tech 2 Navy, because all the damage that could be done with Tech 1 Navy had been done. So now you have to go on the next step. We will normally meet. Oh, some tech to max here. Okay. So this drop will hurt even more than expected. We will meet the ACU of Dilly Dally nearly for sure with the top upgrade and probably tech to upgrade to get an HP advantage. That's what I think, but for the moment we don't have a lot of information. We don't see tech to air for now. Probably our control from Dilly Dally. Voodoo forgot this drop, but as there's no defense, it's not such a big deal. He will activate it a little later. Same again. That's small mistakes, but as it's Voodoo that we are casting, we are allowed to be to require a very high level of gameplay. So yeah, now he reacted with the radar. You see it's still useful, probably a radar or a factory. It's a radar, so good split of Mantis. And then he will destroy first the Tech 1 Mexes, because maybe some of them are in an upgrade, so they still have the 600 HPs, and then the Tech 2 Mex. Two front, so definitely no possibility on our little Barracudas attacking on the side where there's not the destroyer. Okay, so as expected, ACU with stealth and torp. It will be a way higher DPS than what we had with the Barracudas. So I think even with so many frigates, Dilly Dally should be able to defend those. Although maybe he will lose again this tech to factory, which would hurt him a lot. Especially that he just had been wounded, definitely. But I'm surprised Voodoo didn't kill this tech to max. Yeah, this is game over, I think. Yes, Voodoo is giving a lot of mass to his opponent, but his opponent won't be able to do anything by always getting his navy factories killed. You can see he's already starting to reclaim while destroying the navy, but it won't be enough. It won't be enough. Especially those two destroy will be a problem, because yeah, the SU will require more time to kill those. Yes, that's a good Mantis, killing a very expensive mech. Especially, I don't think that Dilly Dally is eco crashed, because he has no more way to spend his money now. Except in Medusa, but believe me, on a navy map that's really not the unit you want to build. We see transport full from Voodoo. Yeah, still multitasking with the transport. Dilly Dally tried again the factory, but it's 100 times spotted. Okay, yeah, that's game over. Is it? I don't see the stun. I don't see the stun on the Medusa. That's very weird. You can see Voodoo trying to protect his distro from the torps, because actually there's only torps on the Medusa. So if he kills the Medusa, his destroyer is totally safe. Okay, so to get an idea, yeah, so softly, Dilly Dally is a top 20 player. On Voodoo, you can see that still there's a huge level difference, even inside the top 20. Like a player like Dilly Dally playing Voodoo, like the difference is still huge. Yeah, it's definitely game over since few minutes. There's not a lot of suspense anymore, so I will speed this up a little. I'm disappointed because I promised you some navy, and I had no possibility to explain anything about navy, or nearly nothing, because there were no navy fights. And there's so much things to say about navy fights that yeah, I hope I will have some good replays later in the future to get some interesting navy fights and to explain you all the mechanics of this very special gameplay. Yeah. So Dilly Dally still not living. Is there enough to kill the ACU? Not even sure. Not even sure. Plus his stealth. Yeah. You can see he will probably soon take a veteran sim. That's funny. Just by killing some submerged units. Okay. Guys, I won't waste your time. This is a waste of time. Puff. Okay. Seriously, there's nothing to watch anymore. The game is super over. So more drops. What will Voodoo do to end the game? More drops. More navy. More everything. And that's good that Dilly Dally is still believing as he tries again with this mass to stay in the game. But this is not what you could think. It's not a Tech 3 max, it's just a killed max earlier. You can see here. Not even rebuilt. So yeah. Dilly Dally did a very good job by his 2 Barracudas on... Okay, now Wagner's. Why not? In his situation, that's not a bad choice, but it won't help by any way against Navy. So more drops, more... Okay, I don't understand why Voodoo didn't went Tech 2 Air, which is the best to kill an ACU underwater, with the tar bombers, but well... Yeah, definitely a waste of time. So he lost the Tech 2 factory, he had made a lot of other Tech 2 factories, slave factories, but yeah. Please, Control K, Dilly Dally, it's... Oh. He has 1 mass income. Good luck with that. Oh my god. His SU is here. Please, please, kill this Cybran ICU. GG. Yeah, I think the game is over. Definitely, definitely. You don't have such of a base. Ah, here he is. Okay, okay, good job. At anyway, it's good to have Dilly Dally back in FAF. Hoping that he will not make the same mistakes that he could have done in the past. And yeah, he could become a very serious opponent in the future. Like he's playing standard, but good. He had good mechanics. Maybe not on this Wildfire, but this was a very special map where Voodoo has a lot of experience. That's what helped him a lot. Okay, so secondary play, totally different, but still a top 10 player against a top 20 player. But this time I'm glad because I will show you 2 players that I didn't casted yet on that has a very... It's like the clash of the old against the new. I can explain myself. Like, one player is LordVader. LordVader was a GPGnet top player playing Cybran, and he was playing Cybran at a time where nearly no one except maybe him on Tagrock were playing Cybran because Cybran sucked on 3599 in Ranked, where most of the maps were some 5x5 kilometers map. On LordVader, what did he do? He just created some build orders to rely on Tech to Land, and that's very awesome because LordVader is the Tech to Land abuser of GPGnet. He was spamming some very early hoplites. At the time you could only have a viable Tech to Land with hoplites and mongoose for UFs. It was the two only factions that had a chance to win with early Tech 2 land. So LordVader, he was known for this playstyle, very Tech 2, very early Tech 2 land on hoplites, with stealth and all the tralala. It was very beautiful. Nowadays, we have the new early Tech 2 addicted, and that's very funny because we see that 3 years later, Embers, his previous name was Stainless Steel, and he has a very special style that we will see. I hope he will show us this style, although he's most of the time playing UF, this time he's Ion, and he's playing since a long time, but he became suddenly from top 100 to top 10 player because he found a very interesting playstyle, not abusing but using effectively NG mode. So we will see if he uses it here against LordVader, that probably knows that today Hoplite Rush is not really viable anymore, and that's quite sad. I don't think I will start to talk about balance because we could have a 1 hour talk without even watching the game, and we will more focus about the game. But if you want my opinion, I used to love it. Was very epic to watch because those fast Tech 2 back in the days were relying on micro. If you were doing a micro mistake with your hoplite, the game was over. Like DG, if the Tech 1 spam was going totally in range of your Tech 2, it was game over. Now, with the new style of Embers, that is now, it's called the Embers style because he's really using it a lot, and that's what made him becoming a good player. But now a lot of players are using this style. So you can see he will add some extra pigeon after few factories. For the moment the start is quite normal, except that it's kinda late air factory, but kinda fast double land factories. Why? Because the map. Because the map. And yes, I can't continue before explaining one of the most classic subcom map ever. This is 30th Major. Why? It's, so you know, there are civilians here, a gate and a few Tech 1 PGs, and 2 other fronts, and it's a map where the key points, it's not the only key points, but some of the key points are here and here. What you know is that you will have difficulties to expand here. It will be hard, but you know that the enemy can by land going only this way, and by air going on all this way. So you will have difficulties to protect this side, especially because your ICU in the common gameplay will be used at the same time to get the reclaim. So if the ICU gets the reclaims here, you won't have a strong unit to protect your expansion. But you have to think that it's exactly the same situation for your opponent. So with 2 early land factories here, you can push very early here and deny the expanded engages. Or if you see that the enemy ICU is going here to protect this side, first you still have some huge possibilities of drop. It's a map where drops are extremely strong, and then you know that you will be able to get 100% of the gate here, which is such a huge boost of mass. So concerning his eco balance, no, not Tech 2? Okay, so for Embers it's quite a late Tech 2. Yeah, he's spamming some Tech 1. I'm quite surprised that, like, I wanted to show his style, and at the moment he's playing more standard than usual. But it's not a problem. So well placed radar, and you can see many rocks here, everywhere. It's a map where rocks are very important. You can see LordVader sending bomber here, and of course the power of Aurora, which is extremely strong against Mantis. I would say for the moment excellent reclaim from Embers, and that's probably what creates the difference on the score. We don't have much information about LordVader for now, but Bomber is... Oh, we actually... Okay. Okay. And... Okay. Yeah. I think LordVader's ACU got lost. But why going here? I don't see the point, because you see, now there are some enemy units on his expansion side. So LordVader will have huge difficulties to protect this side. And what will he earn by getting ACU here? I will say nothing, because that's not a place which is very hard to defend. Unlikely. And during this time we will see with the first arties that Embers will start to kill the PD here. And LordVader totally out of position, he won't be able to defend that. So yeah, I'm very worried for LordVader that early in the game. Yeah, on the opposite side, yeah, LordVader still managed to kill the NGs that was supposed to take this expansion. So he's not totally lost. He's not totally lost, but I would say he's in a big in a big shit. Yeah, we can say it. Okay, Embers lost here with micro mistakes. You can see LordVader didn't lose a single plane in this fight, or maybe one at the beginning. On yeah, Embers is sending a new one. That's a cool gift. Okay, so he focused the low HP one, or maybe it was only a move order. Interesting, interesting. Oh, okay. So, like in the previous game with Dilly Dally, now we are watching an aggressive factory, but that's where our players are quite good, is that they spot it very early. Like, I don't know what spotted that. Maybe it was a scout that was this way. And now there are some units. So good point. That's kinda... It was one of the oldest strategies. We could see it very back in the days. TLO, TBO. They loved to do this kind of hidden factories. Except that back in the days, players were not scouting like before. Also, they had not this unit. Well, they had it, but it was totally not balanced and way more expensive without radar. So Air Scout on JPGNet was totally useless. Okay, so you can see excellent eco balance from Embers, but he has difficulties to get his side, whereas LordVader is about to get his side. We can see on the score it's very even, a lot of units, well placed radar, so the window for Embers won't be that big. Okay, finally Tech 2, and probably it will be followed by some more Tech 2 on here on the way. That's very scary. Even if you have some Aurora, you have to know Aurora is an excellent tank, but it won't tank much when you're fighting with your ICU. So most of the time... Okay, that's too bad. If LordVader managed to get a PD here, maybe on few bombers to snipe the RTs, it was requiring a lot of micro, but he had a chance to get this expansion secured. And if LordVader had this expansion secured, for sure it was game over. You can see, as incredible as it can look, Embers didn't manage to get safely the gate. Well, he will, and you know why? Because the civilian walls are still here on LordVader's side. He just had to send one NG to reclaim those walls, and then this army is definitely strong enough to kill this ACU on those few not really important tank. Mortar 2 factories, and the choice is Obsidian. Good choice. But yeah, at the moment we are seeing a huge mistake from LordVader. So he saw that Embers invested a lot of mass to defend his side and kill the factories. But LordVader is not getting his army effective. It makes 3 minutes that this army has the mission to attack the middle of the map. But it failed in this mission because the opponent with less units managed to get the map. Probably it was waiting for the SU that was walking back here. And now he has the units, but it's too late. The famous hoplite. Yeah. The LordVader hoplite. And I don't think that Vader will be able, without upgrade on the SU, to get in the enemy base to break the forces. I definitely hope that he has the overcharge available. You will see it. But with this spam, Tech 2 hoplites, we have huge difficulties to stay out of range. And you can see, huge mistake. Huge mistake. Bombers doing some stuff, but Tech 2 PDs will be on time. And yes, the window is closed. Maybe 1 minute earlier it was totally working, but here it definitely won't work. 4 obsidian, that's huge. So good use of bombers, but it won't be enough. He is managing to kill the Tech 2 PDs, but LordVader with so few medusas, it won't be enough. And those obsidians, it's totally an ACU locker as long as there's not enough energy to overcharge. The sound is a little loud, I think. Yeah. Even my computer is crying. Yeah, you can see so many Tech 2s. He got Veteran C1, which is good. He got his side. The map is still even, but I think that LordVader will manage to resist. But so damn close. It's only a question of overcharge at the moment. But there are so many obsidians, and he's wasting. Okay. That's probably over. Units are late, and obsidian, it hurts so much. So he has to overcharge another obsidian, not this one, because this one is finished. Okay, this one is finished too. He needs the second veterancy. On the meantime, Embers got also the first veterancy, and he's about, you can see, he's about to have the second veterancy. And at this point, it's okay. Tech 2 PD, excellent reflex. When you have such a big assault here, you never think to protect this side. But those Tech 2 PDs, it's a huge point that made less possibilities to LordVader for the attack. You can see it's still not secured. There's still a lot of units. Maybe. Oh, yeah, I see you a little out of position. But obsidians are here. Maybe a few fire battles could have done the job, but it didn't happen. Okay, he overcharged the SU. That was a mistake. He really needed to overcharge the obsidians, because it pays more. Maybe he wanted to get a draw, I don't know. But actually, what's happening here? Yeah, sorry for earlier. I was following LordVader ACU with the energy bar of Embers. That's why I get like during a minute my head stayed locked. Like, what the fuck is happening? I don't understand it. It's not synchronized. Okay, so excellent reflex. Embers, starting Tech 2 upgrade to get more HPs, because what could happen now? Well, some Tech 2 Corsairs, 1 or 2, could be enough. However, on the meantime, excellent eco growing. Without energy or mass stalling, he managed to get a lot of Tech 2 maxes, and now he is sure to get the eco advantage, because he saw here there's still some Tech 1 maxes, and LordVader didn't get the reclaimable gate. However, he's still a very good player. He has some front NGs to reclaim the fight, but it won't be enough. It won't be enough. I didn't see a lot of stun from Medusa. That's weird. That's weird. Okay, so no risk here. Tech 2 is already finished. Excellent. So you can see he's back to 600 HPs. That's something you really want to have. Okay, kind of a run by, but it doesn't work. Too bad. Too bad. And now he can protect his main side. LordVader doing a good job with Jesters, but I'm not even sure he has air. So now, yeah, Jester will be focused, and it's not defended by planes. That was a very interesting push, very close to pass. Now we will see. Yeah, here is a stun, but I don't see how LordVader can come back. Even with a gun upgrade, I don't think he can break so many obsidians. Now you can see 12 obsidians. It's so huge, and actually he doesn't have the upgrade. Yeah, so no more question about that. Oh, big pack of obsidians. Yeah, whoa, that was a big overcharge. But see how yeah, there's the focus of the ACU now. See how the HPs are falling so fast. That's the power of obsidians. Bam. Yeah. Well, close fight. Very close fight. It was Tandax. Yeah. What can we say? First, we see a way better energy management with quite an early Tech 2 Pigeon. It was dangerous because this Tech 2 Pigeon was quite on front. But that's to explain you how many strategic choices you have in Subcom. It's like when you have your first Tech 2 NG. If you want to earn some time, you have to start as fast as possible the Tech 2 Pigeon, because it's less expensive than Tech 1 Pigeon in energy per mass ratio. But the NG will go out from the front factory, because if you are a good player, your factories will be as close as possible to the key points, to the fight points. So that's what explains that often the first Tech 2 Pigeon is close to the front, but after the other ones can be way more back in the base. Then you can see this player, Embers, has a very long Tech 2 land timing. He goes Tech 3 sometimes, and he has no problem to manage Tech 3 units, but his very strong point is at the Tech 2 stage. LordVader, well, he doesn't play much, and for a player that stopped playing 3 years ago, and that plays maybe 2-3 rankeds per month, he did not bad. But you can see that his gameplay is a little not accurate anymore to the current metagame. Now you don't continue to spend so much mass in the Tech 1 once you've reached Tech 2. You can see this is totally a player that is not used to NG mode anymore, because he's mass assisting his Tech factory, and he's continue to spam Tech 1 spam. But to be honest, I used to like when there were few Tech 2 units supporting the Tech 1 spam. Nowadays we don't see it anymore, because once Tech 2 is reached, most of the time we don't see tech 1 units used anymore because it's more cost effective, more interesting to directly go to slave tech factories to get as much tech tools as possible, and on the meantime you increase your build power. So yeah, good job guys. I hope that you enjoyed. I definitely did. We can check the stats. Now we have checked the stats. So yeah, I say you goodbye, good evening or good morning, wherever you are on earth, and see you for next cast. Bye bye.